What's up, guys? It's Anthony from AB Fitness Center here today with another great video. Again, if you're listening to this after the fact, make sure you go on Facebook and send me a friend request. It's Anthony Bevilacqua, and I do these live, and you can ask me questions and stuff, so it's a good way to watch it after the fact, and you could actually see these things live. But today we're going to talk about 6 steps to losing your love handles fast. So love handles, right, is typically a bunch of body fat that's like right here, okay? So it's right here. You can kind of pinch it. It's on your backside. You could pinch this area, and this is a pound of body fat that you guys are looking at right now. So this is what it looks like right here. It's right here. So how do we lose these love handle things fast, right? So there's a lot of things we're going to cover today, and there's a lot that we have to talk about before we get into this, because this title kind of sounds kind of gimmicky, and I'm not into gimmicks or anything like that, but I'm going to teach you guys how you can actually lose body fat. So before I explain this to you, I have to preference it by saying that there's no such thing as spot reduction. So what that means is that you cannot lose weight from one area only, okay? It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. You know, when you lose body fat, you lose it everywhere. We can't dictate where we lose it from. It's just the way our body works. So our body's main goal is to keep you alive. Your body doesn't want to be fit and in shape. No one's body does. So your body's main goal is to keep you alive and healthy. So how it does that is it begins to lose weight around the heart first, okay? Because obviously your organs are more important than your six-pack. So, you know, if we have heart around like certain organs or liver, fatty liver, things like that, you will lose that area first, okay? So I guess the first thing, which actually will make this 7 steps, is you're going to need patience in order to lose your love handles, okay? So it's going to take a little time because your body's going to have to just start losing fat everywhere. That's first and foremost. But let's talk about it. So step number 1 is going to always boil down to your nutrition. So 70% of your results are going to come from what you eat. So the nutrition is extremely, extremely important to take you to the next level, all right? And Anna's laughing that I said that your organs are more important than your six-pack. It's very true. Very, very true. So your nutrition has to be down-packed. If you're not eating in a calorie deficit, meaning that you're burning more calories than you're consuming, you are not going to lose 1 pound of this. I promise. No matter how much you think you're dieting, nothing is going to happen until you actually enter that calorie deficit. Okay, so how do you enter a calorie deficit? I would, again, not knowing anything about anyone listening to this right now, I would log all your food for 3 days. Okay, you can use paper and pen. You can use one of the fancy apps. See how many calories you're taking in those 3 days. Okay, if you lose weight, then that means you're in a calorie deficit. If you're gaining weight, it just means it's too much. So you would have to deduct some calories and start from there. But that's a good starting point to figure out where you're at in order to get yourself into a calorie deficit. But if you're not going to lose your love handles, nothing's going to happen unless you're in a deficit, first and foremost, okay? So that's, just understand that, okay? I promise you, you could do all, and I'm going to give you some exercises today that are the best for losing this fat that's right here, your love handles, okay? But you can do these exercises till the cows come home. Nothing is going to happen. 0. I promise. If you're doing these exercises and you're delusionally eating and think, oh, I'm doing well, and you're having a salad that's like 1,100 calories, thinking that it's only 300, I promise this area will just grow. Okay? So keep that in mind. The calorie deficit is the most important thing to losing your love handles fast. So diet. That's number 1. All right, number 2, you want to increase your lean protein consumption. Now, again, I've talked about this numerous times before, but protein is essential for building muscle. Okay? So this is 1 pound of muscle. This is what 1 pound of muscle looks like. And this actually kind of looks like a food. And what kind of food? Okay? It looks like lean meat, right? So lean proteins, when you eat them, your body has to actually heat up a little bit to burn it off. So this is why when you have protein, it helps you to burn more calories than if you had just all carbohydrates. So this is why if you hypothetically ate, 2,000 calories a day all from carbohydrates, you would actually burn more calories total if you had it more from protein. So again, your body has to heat up a little bit to burn off protein, so you get that calorie burning effect from protein. But because this looks like meat, okay, protein is the building blocks for muscle. So the more protein you consume, the more building blocks your body has to build and maintain more muscle, which will speed up your metabolism. So I got some questions here. So Phil says, listening to my advice, he lost 18 pounds doing only calorie deficit. It works. Yes, I know what I'm talking about. And I've been doing this a long time. And the funny thing is, nutrition is so simple, but there's so much crazy stuff out there and it makes it so much more complicated than it needs to be. All these fancy diets, but people have been losing body fat and gaining muscle for years before any of these crazy things have been around. So just focus on tracking your nutrition, eating a little bit more protein, and I promise your body will change. So congrats, Phil. That's awesome. I think there was another question up here. Let me just check. All right. So Brittany says, what if I eat a salad for every meal and do 100 crunches every day with a waist trainer? Yes, that'll get you there for sure. That'll definitely get you there. For those of you that don't know what a waist trainer is, it's kind of like a girdle. You put it on, and supposedly like you sweat in that area, and then there's no scientific evidence that prove that actually does anything. Again, especially if you're not eating well. That goes without saying. And Anna says the diet is the hardest part. And it is so true. The exercise portion of all this is easy because you could do these exercises that I'm going to give you today. You can do them, you could drop down on the floor and do them right now. That's easy. And especially if you have the motivation, it's going to get rid of this. I'm going to keep doing it. But the simple fact of the matter is that the nutrition's all day. 24/7, 365. You got to worry about what am I eating? What am I eating? And all day long, you have a choice. You could either do really well, you could do really bad. I mean, I could go home after this and just say, F it. I'm going to eat the cookies out of the cabinet. I could do that. I'm human, right? I could do that. But I won't because it's just so ingrained in me now of what to do and what to not do. And I know how to balance it out. But it's a struggle. And Anna took the words out of my mouth. Every meal is almost like a struggle. You have to really want this. Because, 2 days of dieting is not going to get rid of your love handles. It takes time. It takes consistency. It takes doing it over time a lot. And just repeat, rinse, repeat. That's what it takes. Patience. That's probably another one on the steps I should take in. My mom just jumped on here. I want to get my mom on one of these lives, but she doesn't want to come. So everybody comment below and just comment on my mom and tell her to come and do an interview with me. She refuses. She says she's scared. My mom. All right. So that was number 2. Okay, so number 1 was diet. Obviously, 70% of this is nutrition. And number 2, increase your protein intake. So number 3, and not everyone's going to like this one, decrease your alcohol consumption. Okay? So, decreasing your alcohol consumption. Not many people like that one. People use, hi, Anthony's mom. Anthony needs you here. Thanks, Rich. Alcohol consumption. Most people use alcohol as a way to kind of just relax and wind down and stuff, and it's more of a social thing, right? And I've had drinks before. I've done a live, I know, and I drink on occasion, very rare. But alcohol consumption actually has been shown. So whenever your body consumes alcohol is basically considered poison to your body, right? So your body has to stop the breakdown of everything else in order to break down the alcohol and get rid of it. So if you want to prolong this process for yourself, keep drinking alcohol, okay? Your body will get rid of the alcohol first, digest the alcohol. So alcohol is also a macronutrient. So we have protein, we have carbs, we have fat. They all contain calories, but alcohol also contains calories. So protein is 1 calorie per gram, 4 calories per gram, okay? Carbohydrates are 4 calories per gram. Fat is 9 calories per gram. This is why you have to be careful with your fat intake because you could definitely go over your calories with that. But, fat. Alcohol is 7 calories per gram. So it's almost double the amount of calories it is for protein. So you got to be careful with alcohol. Plus, what happens when you consume alcohol, typically other things happen with that. So you have alcohol, you start feeling a little good. You say, I can have the chips. Oh, I lost a little bit of weight. I'll have this. Or the drinks just keep compounding on top of each other and you just kind of go down that spiral. And, and the other thing too is that whatever you mix in a drink too. So I had when I was drinking on here, I had tequila and I had orange juice and pineapple juice. So, but I accounted for those things in there. If I was just pouring, that easily could have been a 500 calorie drink. And I had 2. And I think it kept it to around 300 calories, but that easily could have been 1,000, 1,200 in one sitting. That's a lot. That's a lot. So if I did that a couple days a week, in 1 pound of body fat, so this is what 1 pound of body fat looks like. How many calories are in here? 3,500. So let's just say, for argument's sake, if I had 1,000 calories extra from drinks, and I did that 3 times a week, that's 3,000 calories extra. So if there's 3,500 in here, okay, you're almost at a pound that you gained and you don't even know why. And you could have eaten 100% healthy. You could have done everything right. You could have done everything. But if you went over, you went over. So that's why you got to decrease your alcohol consumption. All right, that was number 3. Number 4, you want to work out with progression. Again, another thing I've beaten down to the ground, but working out with progression is what's going to actually put this muscle tissue on your body. All right? So if you're looking to lose your love handles, you have to put more muscle on in order to burn more calories overall. So you have to work out with progression. So what does that mean? So how do you have to, this tissue, okay, it is not easy for your body to build. Like I mentioned earlier, your body's main goal is to keep you alive, to keep you healthy. Your body doesn't care how you look, doesn't care about your six-pack. It only cares about keeping you healthy. So this tissue is expensive. It requires protein, it requires calories, it requires, doing things to get it. So your body doesn't want to maintain this. It wants to get rid of this. It wants to maintain this because this is easy. This just sits here. Doesn't do anything. It just sits, right? Especially in the love handles. It just sits and just looks at you every time you put on your clothes or your favorite shirt. And it just it sticks out like this, and that's not a good look, right? So that's what it does. But it's easy for your body to do that because it doesn't do anything. This is active tissue. Helps you move, raise your metabolic rate. So how do you build muscle? Especially right now with everything going on, how could you build muscle without actually going to the gym? So there's a lot of ways to force this muscle tissue on. Okay, the obvious one is to always add weight to the bar. So if you're squatting today and you squat nothing, and the next time you come to the gym, you squat 20 pounds, your body says, okay, I need to put more of this tissue on so I can go and do that again. All right, very simple. But if you don't have access to a gym, which not all of us do, especially people in New York right now, but if you're listening to this in Florida, you can go to the gym and do that. I think somewhere, Atlanta? Somewhere else is open, I forget. Georgia. Anyway, well, there's other ways to progress. So you can progress with more reps. So let's say, for argument's sake, I squatted with 30 pounds today and I did 5 reps. If the next time I did it, I did 6 reps, I've progressed. And my body says, okay, I need to put more tissue on so I can maintain that, and so on and so forth. So you could do it with more reps. You could do it with more overall volume. So if I did 1 set of 10 reps today, the next time, if I did 2 sets of 10, I've progressed. So you have to make sure that you're always working out with progression. And a lot of trainers and people out there forget it, and they just kind of go to the gym and just randomly do things, or, oh, I'll work out at home. I don't need some trainer online watching me. I could do this by myself. And they're just randomly doing things. So the problem is, if your program's not structured and not sound, and you're not doing big compound movements that utilize a lot of these things, a lot of muscle at once, you're not going to get there as fast. Okay, and this has to do with, I know I'm talking about love handles, but this has to do with changing your body overall also. Because like I said earlier, there's no such thing as spot reduction. You can't just, oh, I pray tonight that I lose my love handles. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do some leg lifts. You can't really see me doing a leg lift here. I look like a spazzing out here. But you can't sit there and do leg lifts and just pray and hope that this fat that's sitting right here is going to go away. It's not going to happen. All right, so you have to work out with progression. All right, number 5. Now we're going to get into our exercises here. So my favorite exercise for the obliques, and one that works the entire body and will help you to lose your love handles, is the side plank. A very, very simple exercise, but it works the core, the muscles of your spine. It works to keep your spine healthy. The side plank. The side plank is a very, very simple exercise to do. Anybody could do it. If you have back issues or anything like that, side planks are one of the things that help you 100%. Side planks are really easy. Get down on your side, on the floor. You do one side. As long as you can tolerate, and switch and do the other side. Again, always working out with progression. So, and Brittany says a weighted side plank. And absolutely a weighted side plank, is that's when you get a little advanced. But again, you got to work out with progression. So if today, you did 10 seconds on each side, and that's okay, that's all you could do today, That's fine. That's great. The next time you do it, you have to make sure you do 15 seconds aside. And this is how you get better. This is how you get stronger. This is how your body improves. All right, I have some questions here. Anna says, I pray, and yes, Anthony's right, love handles don't just go away. See, I told you, you can pray all you want, but they're not going anywhere. So, yeah, side planks are the best exercise for overall strength, and again, targeting those obliques, that area, that clump of body fat when you put on your favorite shirt that sticks out. Yeah, that area. We don't like that area, okay? We want to get rid of that. And it's funny because men hold more in their midsection, right around there, that spare tire. That's more of a men thing. So love handles for men that's actually more of a thing than I think for women. But yeah, that's usually typically where men put it on first, and that's the last place it goes, typically. All right, so that's one of my favorite exercises to help with that. My last tip, my step, okay, number 6, and this one's a killer. And my wife's on here. She didn't do this one today, but she did something similar. So again, I like focusing on the basics. I don't get crazy with any of these things. There's no reason to. You want to work smarter, not harder, okay? So I love lying leg raises. I think that they are one of the best exercises for the lower stomach, okay? But it's all about, again, doing it with progression, okay? Now, lying leg lifts, there's a lot of ways you can do them. If you have a back issue, you can put your hands underneath your butt. If you're more advanced, you can hold your hands, hold on to something behind you. But the key with this is you have to work with progression on this. So I never usually count my reps on lying leg raises. So I won't, just for argument's sake, say I won't do 3 sets of 10. I just won't do that. I will give myself a rep goal for that day, and I will say, okay, I want to do whatever, 25 reps. And however many sets it takes me to get there, that's what I end up doing. Now, when this works the best is when you can get up to 100, okay? So at the end of my workout, or maybe the beginning of my workout, whatever, I'll say, okay, I'm doing 100 reps for lower abs and obliques, and that's what I'm doing. So at 100 reps, however long it takes me. If I do it in one set, I mean, that would be crazy, and that would be amazing. But if I did that in one set, then I'm done. If I do it in 10 sets of 10, then I'm done, okay? But again, focusing on a basic movement. So your core actually has, and I got to get one of those skeleton things so I could show you, but your core actually has, it moves in 2 ways. You crunch down, okay? So your ribs go to your pelvis. So that's one way that you activate your stomach, okay? Utilize the top and the bottom. Actually use your whole middle here, okay? Or you bring the lower pelvis to the top. So that's it. Every other thing that you do is just fancy and looks really hard. And again, a lot of trainers will make you do those things because they're really hard, and you say, "Oh, okay, I don't need the trainer to show me how to do this. I need the trainer to show me how to do this." So whatever. We're the opposite here. We show you how to do this stuff. It's just about a matter of pushing you to do more. But so when you do the lower leg raises, okay, lying leg raises, that's going to work more lower. It's going to put more of the pressure on the lower. But by doing it that many reps, you're going to build up that progression faster. Again, if you're just starting out, maybe you can only max out at 25 and that's it. And when you do them correctly, they're very, very hard. But those are my 2 favorite exercises, again, to blast away the love handles fast. Okay? Side planks, again, building up that time. So if you're doing 10 seconds on each side, left and right, that's fine. Next time you better do 15. You always got to work out with progression. Okay? And then the lying leg raises. And work up to doing 100 reps total. And then once you pass that, then we'll talk again and we'll have another conversation on what to do when you get past that point. But 100 reps should be fine for a lot of you guys, and just build up to it. But those are my 2 favorite. Have you ever had love handles? No, but I know what it feels like. Yeah, I've always been a skinny kid growing up. So, I've had the opposite problem than most people have, but neither here nor there. So let's recap all this again, okay? So 6 steps to losing your love handles really fast, okay? Number 1, make sure you're actually dieting, okay? 70% of your results are going to come from what you eat. So make sure that you're actually tracking your calories. Make sure that you're actually eating less than you need. And that's how you will lose weight. It's not magic. It's not cut out all your carbs. It's not stop eating at 6 o'clock. It's if you're having 5,000 calories today, make sure that you have less and you'll lose weight. I promise. I promise. You'll get healthier. All good things will happen. Number 2, increase your protein intake. Make sure that you're consuming lean protein sources because those are the things that are going to change your body the fastest. You're going to burn more calories just by eating more protein. Number 3, you're going to decrease your alcohol consumption. So, Tony, no more red wine. Okay, you got to cut that out. That just makes the love handle stay. All right? Number 4, you always want to work out with progression. Don't just randomly pick numbers and just do them. Work out with progression. If the last workout you did squats and you did 25 reps, you better try to get 26 the next workout or do 25 for twice, okay? Number 5, lying leg raises, 100 reps. That's your goal. Work up to doing 100 reps. If it takes you 10 sets of 10, that's fine, but 100 reps. I promise you'll be really, really sore the next day. And side planks. Again, a really, really basic movement that anybody could do, but when done correctly, will help to strengthen up almost every muscle in your body, will keep your spine healthy, and will make you overall better. So those are the ways to lose your love handles fast. Richard says, so this margarita I'm drinking is a no-no. Yeah, typically margaritas too. The thing with margaritas is they're like 800 calories. There's a lot of calories in drinks, man. There's a lot. So sorry to burst everyone's bubble with the drinking. But listen, you can do it. You just gotta to fit it in. So if you want 800 calories from drink, just gotta make sure that you account for it in the day, and that's the end of it. All right, guys. Well, hopefully this is helpful to you guys. If you're interested in getting started with us, you can head on over to abfitnesscenter.com. I got some big things coming up for you guys. And yeah, we'll talk on the next one. So have a good night, everybody.